serving 19 years in prison. Quote, I had a really difficult time wrapping my head around why that rape kit was never tested, Shesk said. My case is a poster child as to why you test these kits. Yes, thank you very much, HTLA dog doofus. Well, today, an HTLA Media Network investigation has identified tens of thousands of sexual assault evidence kits that have never been tested by the police. In the most detailed nationwide inventory of untested rape kits ever, HTLA and journalists from more than 75 Gannett newspapers and TEGNA TV stations have found at least 70,000 neglected kits in open records campaign covering 1,000-plus police agencies and counting. Despite its scope, the agency-by-agency count covers a fraction of the nation's 18,000 police departments, suggesting the number of untested rape kits reaches actually into the hundreds of thousands. Whew, thank God. Well, the kits, of course, contain forensic evidence collected from survivors in a painstaking and invasive process that can last 4 to 6 hours, especially when I do it. The testing can yield DNA evidence that helps identify suspects, bolster prosecution's cases, and in some cases exonerate the wrongly accused. Bill Cosby. Now, the records reveal widespread inconsistency in how police handle rape evidence from agency to agency, even officer to officer. Some departments test every rape kit. Others send as few as 2 in 10 to crime labs. Decades of promises from politicians and more than $1 billion in federal funding has failed to fix the problems. The roughly $1,000 cost to analyze each kit is among the hindrances for police. Records obtained from police agencies in all 50 states show that while attention has been focused on large metro police agencies, tens of thousands of untested sexual assault kits are accumulating almost without notice at rural and smaller city departments. Hundreds of rape kits remain untested in places like Muncie, Indiana, Visalia, California, St. Cloud, Minnesota, and Green Bay, Wisconsin. In most states and at most law enforcement agencies, there are no written guidelines for processing sex crime evidence. Decisions are often left to the discretion of the investigating officers, leading to inconsistencies. Yeah, fat, lazy, donut-eating bastards. Now, although uploading offenders' DNA information into state and national databases has proven to identify serial predators who move across jurisdictions, police often treat rape kits as if the evidence is relative and relevant only to single assaults which it is associated. Authorities at all levels of government are failing to quantify the problem. At least 50 major law enforcement agencies from Montgomery, Alabama to Reno, Nevada have never counted the untested rape kits in their evidence rooms. Most states haven't even undertaken an inventory. The U.S. Department of Justice is failing to comply with a 2013 law that was meant to get more rape kits tested and set national protocols for processing sexual assault evidence. For rape survivors like Shesk, the accumulation of untested evidence is more than abstract statistics. She says every single one of those rape kits is a person and their family and friends, she said. It's like a baby's mobile. You touch one piece and it moves all the others. It's not just one person. Everyone that their sphere of influence touches is affected by what happens to a victim. And it goes on with more victims and more crying. But, because we're so damn professional on this show.
Yes.
It's like, Muhammad Ali. We just stick and move. That's right. So we're going to go for our second commercial break. Don't worry. When we come back, we will not have any more weather. We won't do it to you. We love you just too damn much.
Yes.
But we will have Obama. That's right. When we come back, we're going to be unleashing the Obama headlines. He's just tearing it up today from every point there possibly is. I don't know. Does he think he can get reelected?
Yes.
Yeah? I don't know. Well, we'll see. We're going to go for that commercial break. When we come back, Obama World. It's a new adventure park opening up. It's going to be right here. Back in 2.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Good morning. Welcome to Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where fresh always tastes better. What can I make you this morning?
How about our new flatbread breakfast paninis? Made fresh, just for you, with your favorite breakfast ingredients on maple or multigrain flatbread, then grilled to hot, melted perfection. Just $2.99. Who couldn't warm up to that?
Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where quality really does meet value.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the Egyptian cotton towels. Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York. Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Let's do a brand new day. Let's step away from the bland and let the color fly. Let's get to the one store with more number one choices and match this or this without using too much of this. Then, let's crack open a can and get to it. Paint? No. Let's do POW. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Glidden Duo starts at a new lower price of $25.46 a gallon.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
And now I have to bring up that piece of trivia that everyone feels like they're telling people that they don't know.
Yeah, it's probably something stupid like liquid paper or something. Yeah. We've already done that, Gilbert. Yeah.
Yes.
People know, you know.
I remember being on your radio show in Chicago.
Yeah, I don't think we'll do that today. Yeah.
And I think there were complaints about it where I think like they were saying like they were going to censor it or stop in Britain, saying this is against the laws of nature.
Yeah, you got that. Got that right.
Now here's a story I'm sure you're tired of talking about, but I'd be remiss in not bringing it up, and that's when you beat up a transvestite.
It's a hobby. That's right, it's a hobby, and we are back, damn it.
I got lost. HTLA. Oh, HTLA. Hell is that?
That's your phone, you old man. Can I,
That was a mistake on my part.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Can I... Wow, can you both shut up so I can do the... Yes, welcome back to Coffee and Cigarettes, your Thursday double-double on HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, where it is still, well, no, it's dropped actually a good chunk, 80 degrees in Central Park right now, with the sun beaten down, there's no clouds, so I really don't care. This is, of course, your Thursday double-double for July 2015, brought to you by the fine folks Tim Hortons, New York City, now with those 8 fine locations in the city to serve all your coffee and baked goods needs. Get on over there. That's right. Tim Hortons, always fresh.
That was a mistake on my part.
Just put him on hold. Just put them on hold. Well, we've got too much professional stuff to get to here. That's right. And what is it? It's Obama time. Geez, I don't know. Do we have do we have a piece of music to play with the Obama news stories, Jenny? Yeah? Oh, okay. No. Gilbert, sing.
Take me to your heart.
Yeah, there we go.
Show me where to start. Let me play the part of your first love. All the stars are right. Let us make a wish tonight. My love. Pity those who wait. Trust in love to fate. Finding out too late that they've lost it. Never let it go. You will never know the ways of love.
Yeah. That's right. Look for Gilbert and I coming soon to Broadway Theater near you. Yeah. All right, well, moving on today, finally, we've got the Obama news with we had the song. That's fine. Yeah. With news here, we've got the singing, the music. Yeah. President Obama called former President George H.W. Bush today to wish him a speedy recovery from the fall that injured the former president's neck, the White House said. The president has extended best wishes on behalf of himself and the First Lady and black people and KFC everywhere. Yes, says Eric Schultz, White House spokesman.
Yes.
So... I'm just reading the damn quote. Yeah, go and bitch at him, black people. The elder Bush remains in fair condition at a hospital in Portland, Maine, after a fall yesterday that fractured his C2 vertebrae. Of the former president's office said in a statement. See, and everybody accused that man of not having a spine. Yeah. Well, Bush is the father of former president and genetic mistake, George W. Yes, George W. Bush, and 2016 Republican presidential candidate and former Florida governor, Jeb. Yes, America, you could screw up again. I don't know. Isn't it time we got those genes out of the White House?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd even vote for Obama again. Yes, that's right. The only president in history to ever make a huge earth-breaking speech,
yes,
and turn around and pull a door that you push and walk into the wall. Well, President Bush will remain at Maine Medical Center to be fitted for a brace to immobilize the injured area to continue physical therapy and further evaluation, says a statement from his office. Quote, we do not miss timelines for discharge, but we do believe that this is going to be a very prolonged recovery period. And considering he's just an old fart, you're absolutely right. Yeah? Well, what did Obama do after he got off the phone? You're probably asking yourself.
Yes.
Yeah? Well, we can tell you because this is Obama News, Obama News, Obama News. That's right. After he got off the phone, Obama went and visited a prison to promote criminal justice plans. President Obama became the first president to visit a federal prison today as he promoted his ideas for the criminal justice reform to a group of federal inmates. As Obama called again for legislation to permit lighter sentences for nonviolent drug offenders and their changes, there were more signs from Congress that the proposals were gaining bipartisan support. Quote, we have to consider whether this is the smartest way for us to both control crime and rehabilitate individuals, Obama said after the tour of El Reno Federal Correction Institute near Oklahoma City today. After speaking with prison officials and inmates serving time for drug offenses, Obama said he is struck by how many people face years in prison because they made foolish, youthful mistakes. Yes, Mr. President, it's called breaking the law. Yes, well, citing the overcrowded and violent conditions as too many prisons in the United States, Obama said the situation is not normal. It's not what happens in other countries, Obama said. What is normal is teenagers doing stupid things. What is normal is young people who make mistakes. Well, I'd remind you, Mr. President, in those other countries, they just effing shoot you. Obama's prison trip, part of a week-long series of events designed to highlight criminal justice issues, came as the top House Republican added himself to the growing list of lawmakers who support overhauling sentencing laws. Quote, we've got a lot of people in prison, frankly, that really, in my view, don't need to be there, says House Speaker John Boehner, Republican of Ohio. A series of proposals are pending in the Republican-run House and Senate. During a speech Tuesday to the NAACP National Convention, Obama outlined a comprehensive package of reforms that includes releasing them all and beginning death games. And other reforms that include elimination of mandatory sentencing laws that have led to long-term prison terms for relatively minor offenses. Yeah, because he thinks cocaine trafficking is minor. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, other ideas include reducing the number of solitary confinements, allowing felons who have served their sentences to vote, and helping released prisoners get jobs once they have re-entered society. We did a little impromptu interview with Sheriff Joe Arpaio down there in Arizona, and he said, if the president ever comes to my state, I'll kill him. Yes, the criminal justice system can also be improved by items like more community policing programs and investments in early education, Obama said. Yeah, I guess he forgot about that George Zimmerman thing. That's a fine example of community policing at work.
Yes.
Killing more unarmed black teens. See? Well, another issue to be addressed, Obama said, is disparities in the criminal justice system also tend to fall most heavily on African Americans and Latinos. Well, sir, because they're the ones doing it. Well, during his visit to El Reno, the president also called for improvements in prison quality, including crackdowns on overcrowding, gang violence, and sexual assaults. Well, Mr. President, what the hell would you have them do all day? Oh, wait, he says he wants Xbox video games installed in all the prisons. Yeah, there you go. Well, during that visit to El Reno, the president also called for other improvements to prison quality while touching... no, not while touching the prison.
Yes.
He didn't... He would never, ever touch the prison. No. While touring the prison, Obama also sat for an interview with a documentary program, Vice, which is producing a program on prisons. Oh, that should be fun on a Saturday night. Yes, Obama also highlighted his proposals this week by commuting the long sentences of 46 men and women who had been convicted of low-level drug offenses. In calling for new legislation, the president and aides have noted that some congressional Republicans, such as Rand Paul of Kentucky, a GOP presidential candidate, are also proposing changes to sentencing guidelines. Paul and other Kentucky Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell introduced a bill Thursday that would require the director of the Bureau of Prisons to be appointed by the president with Senate confirmation. So, yes, let's throw a Muslim in there, too. Yes, your new senator of prisons.
Yes.
Yes, there he is. We'll get him in there. The legislation would bring much-needed accountability and transparency to the Prison Bureau, McConnell said. Really? Who wants to see that? We've already got Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, okay. Well, the bipartisan bill in the Senate, the Smarter Sentencing Act, is designed to allow less lengthy prison terms for nonviolent drug offenders. Its sponsors include conservative Republicans such as drug dealer Ted Cruz and new drug dealer Mike Lee of Utah. That's right. Well, in the House, a bipartisan bill introduced last month by Reps James Sensenbrenner, Wisconsin, and Bobby Scott of Virginia is designed to reduce recidivism, emphasize tougher sentences for violent and career offenders, and save money, supporters said. Boner, the top Republican in the House, cited the expense of maintaining crowded prisons as one reason for backing this legislation. Maintaining a prison system is expensive, Boner said. Some of these people are there under what I would call flimsy reasons, so I think it's time we review the process. I really wish there was some way we could inject brain cells into these guys. And finally today, in the Obama, I don't know, what do we call it, the Bull-orama? It's a little rodeo term I used to... I used to ride the bulls, and, well, this is a whole heap of it. Yeah. Yes, the final story in the Obama news. Yes. Well, let's talk about Obama's on-air defenders also lobbying the White House. Yes, Washington today, President Obama took office promising to restrict lobbyists' influence on his administration. But from its first days, his team has, of course, tapped lobbyists to help shape the Obama message and repeat it on television, even as they were being paid to lobby the White House. Since Obama took office in 2009, the White House has convened regular communications briefings with roughly 24 Democrats who have then fanned out to deliver the administration's spin media. At least 4 of those surrogate spokespeople were registered lobbyists who returned to the White House with paying clients seeking everything from basic introductions to top officials to tax breaks for the nation's largest financial firms. According to USA Today analysis of the White House visitor logs and other public records, at least 2 other participants in the administration's messaging operation were public relations consultants who also returned to the White House with clients. These 6 people have brought a total of 31 clients to the White House for more than 55 meetings with senior officials since January of 2009. In many cases, their clients got what they wanted. In all cases, they got White House access, a highly coveted commodity in Washington. The White House declined to discuss the messaging briefings in detail, how they selected invitees, or why they included lobbyists. Quote, generally speaking, we value our external outreach and outward engagement. Excluding outside voices from our consultations would be narrow-minded in our approach to public service, says Principal Deputy Press Secretary Eric Schultz. He said the administration has followed through on the president's pledge to reduce lobbyists' influence. Yeah, we only had 55 meetings. What's the problem? Well, nevertheless, the mixture of the White House messaging and lobbying poses the very conflict of interest that Obama was supposed to be standing against, says Craig Holman, a government affairs lobbyist for Public Citizen, a Washington-based public interest group. Even though it's not financial quid pro quo going on, there is quid pro quo of the White House getting a favor from a paid lobbyist and then getting the paid lobbyist actually lobbying the White House, Holman said. If you want something for paying clients out of the White House, then you're going to do something. Do a favor for the White House. It's wearing 2 hats. Obama banned former lobbyists from serving the White House on his first day in office, saying that he wanted to make a good campaign pledge to close the revolving door that led lobbyists coming to the government freely. It lets them use their time in public service as a way to promote their own interests over the interests of the American people. But less than 2 months after his inauguration, the White House invited 18 Democratic strategists, including 3 registered lobbyists, to a West Wing briefing with Obama messaging guru David Axelrod as the new president was trying to drum up public support for a health care overhaul. And we all know how that went. Well, the idea behind the meetings is that those strategists would then go on television or be interviewed by reporters and be able to explain and defend the administration's decisions, as they regularly did. In print, online, and in hundreds of television appearances, they have defended everything from the president's tax proposals and annual budgets to his response of the rise of Islamic State and his executive actions deferring deportation for immigrants brought to the United States illegally as children. Well, we've identified a total of 16 messaging meetings at the White House so far, the most recent in February. The White House has also convened much more frequent telephone conferences known as, quote, talker calls.
Yes.
With more or less the same group of people, according to participants. The meetings have at times included White House policy specialists and senior staff, such as the chair of the Council of Economic Advisors. And once or twice, the president came by just very briefly to shake hands and left, says Martin Frost, a former congressman turned lobbyist and regular participant in the meetings who also brought back clients to lobby the White House. They give their take on what they're doing and what they want, said frequent participant Steve Elmendorf, a former chief of staff to ex-House Majority Leader Dick Gephardt and deputy campaign manager for John Kerry. And, of course, his presidential bid in 2004. The meetings are also an opportunity for people outside to give feedback to the White House on how to shape their message and what points are not going over well. Elmendorf has been a registered lobbyist for more than a decade. He has been a regular attendee of Obama's messaging meetings and has brought 18 clients back to the White House for nearly 24 meetings since 2009. Among them were executives from General Electric, the American Wind Energy Association. Well, at least they're honest about that name. Who were both seeking extensions of expiring tax breaks worth billions of dollars in 2012. That year, those two clients paid Elmendorf's firm $560,000 for lobbying. In the last-minute scramble to avoid a combination of tax increases and spending cuts known as the fiscal cliff, Congress and the White House settled on a deal that granted what Elmendorf's clients wanted. Elmendorf says his role as a defender of the administration has nothing to do with his lobbying. Sure. Okay. Well, whether I was a talker or not, I would be talking people to the White House, of course, and taking them to the White House as they have legitimate interest that people in the White House want to hear about. Yeah, okay, whether they agree with them or disagree with them. Frost attended nearly a dozen messaging meetings at the White House and returned with 3 clients and 6 meetings with senior officials since 2011. He brought colleagues representing a Kansas group trying to get a federal commitment to build a new $1 billion Homeland Security biological research facility at the Kansas State University. What the hell does Homeland Security need with a biological research facility? You know Monsanto was there.
Yes.
Well, the group paid Frost firm $500,000 for lobbying between 2012 and 2014 and broke ground. I'm going to get into this new business. Damn. And, of course, ultimately they broke ground on that new facility in May. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Well, what the hell does Homeland Security need with biological research?
Yes.
Power tends to corrupt. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Homeland Security, Louis. Biological research?
Yes.
Kind of doesn't, it doesn't, okay. Well, Frost said messaging and lobbying roles were completely separate. Most of his lobbying was on Capitol Hill, and he wasn't the lead lobbyist on the Kansas account. In addition, he said the White House officials at communication strategy meetings were different from those he brought his clients to meet. Any meetings I took part in the White House for clients, which were infrequent, were with technical staff, Frost said in an email. Yes, but even those technical staff may have been aware that Frost and the other lobbyists were acting as Obama's surrogates in the media. Those people watch TV too, says David Goodfriend, a former aide of the Clinton White House, who is now a lobbyist and a participant in the messaging meetings. Those people know that I am a friend of the White House, so there has to be some acknowledgement of the fact that I was out there as a Democrat on TV and the fact that I defended the administration on TV. Surely must have helped me get a meeting at the White House. How could it not? Well, good friend has attended a dozen messaging meetings at the White House since 2009 and returned during the same period with 4 clients and 15 meetings with senior White House officials. They included Dish Network, which wanted to secure rights from federal authorities to use more airwave frequencies for wireless transmissions. Dish, which has paid the good friend roughly $240,000 per year since 2009 for lobbying, got some key items it was lobbying for. The president signed a satellite television law, and the White House included wireless frequency auctions in a jobs bill that the president signed in 2012. Good friend said there's no quid pro quo with the White House for his role as a messenger and defender of the administration on television. I didn't ask for anything in exchange. I just asked for a meeting. I got the meeting, he said, and I had to have the goods. I had to have the substantive policy and political reasons, or else there was no deal. The fourth Obama messenger to bring lobbyist clients back to the White House was Penny Lee, a former senior political and communications advisor for Senator Harry Reid of Nevada. Lee was the leader in 2011 of an alliance for profit colleges seeking to water down a draft education department rule that would deny schools billions of dollars in federal financial aid unless they could prove their students were getting meaningful post-graduation employment. The coalition paid Lee $500,000 that year, and she escorted top executives from the group to a key White House meeting with a few weeks before the new rule was released, with the weaker language her clients were seeking. Lee also brought to the White House a group of Alaskan tribal corporation executives who were pushing for authorization of more oil drilling in Alaska in 2010. Obama later ordered the Department of the Interior to expand drilling in the region, much to the dismay of environmental groups. Nice. Well, 2 public relations consultants who brought clients back to the White House were Brendan Daly, a former communications director for Nancy Pelosi, and Hillary Rosen, managing director of the firm SKDK Knickerbocker. Because they are communications consultants, they are not required to register as lobbyists or disclose who their clients are or what they want. But news reports and other records show Daly took one of his firm's clients to a meeting at the White House, while Rosen met with the White House officials and a variety of PR clients from oil giant BP to gay rights activists. Rosen said her client meetings were initiated by White House, not by her. If the White House invites you to provide your insight and advice on messaging, especially on issues of common interest like gay marriage, of course you participate. Why wouldn't you? Well, you know, I'll tell you this, Gilbert.
Yes.
For $500,000, I'll attend 7,000 meetings at the White House and be an advocate for gay rights. Well, as he ticked off the litany of instances when Obama has sought to decrease the influence of lobbyists on the administration, President Obama has done more in the past 6 years to close the revolving door of special interest than any president before him, Schultz said. You programmed little freak. We could only track these meetings, as Schultz said, because the Obama White House is the first to make visitor logs public. The Obama White House did not invent messaging meetings. We called them influencer calls, says David Bartlett, White House Communications Director for Republican then-President G.W. Bush. We had a pretty systematic outreach mechanism. Hillary Clinton's campaign has started to hold similar calls, but can only get 4 or 5 people. Well, the challenge for any White House, Bartlett said, is that in Washington, prominent figures like that are certainly wearing multiple hats. Obama's election came on the heels of several lobbying scandals, including the conviction of Jack Abramoff, who lavished gifts on public officials in pursuit of policy changes for his clients. The Bush administration had also come under fire in 2008 for holding communications briefings with retired generals who then defended the Pentagon and the Iraq War on television and were simultaneously profiting from the ties to the defense industry, including as lobbyists. At the time, then Senator Obama's presidential campaign issued a statement saying it was deeply disturbed by the latest evidence that the Bush administration has sought to manipulate the public's trust. One regular attendee of the Obama messaging meetings who didn't bring back clients said he thought it would cross an ethical line. I think you've got to be careful when you're doing that. Yes, who owns his public relations and communications company? You have two roles. You have to say, look, I'm a surrogate, or I'm somebody who's going to help you guys out. But, you leave that and all the other stuff at the door because you paid $500,000 for this meeting and you've got other shit to discuss. That's right. So get your priorities in line.
Yes.
And get your wants on the list.
Yes.
And get it all down there. You've got to get down there and make the president your bitch. That's what you got to do. Well, there it is, and there you go. No, Jenny, wrong. Wake the hell up, Jenny. That's right. That was the last. She's just stunned. She's suffering from Obama overload.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm kind of with her, actually. I'm my head feels kind of weird, and I'm feeling a bit stunned. Well, it's good to know our black president is so open, honest, and transparent. Isn't it? I think it is.
Power tends to corrupt.
I know.
Absolute power corrupts absolute.
Well, that's right, Louie. You banged it right on the head, my brother.
Oh, my God, he's becoming black. I like it. Do a little rap there, too.
I'm not gonna do that today. I'm just not gonna. Yeah. Anywho, it is time to go, Jenny. Hit the button. There we go. Okay. Thank you.
The music is fantastic.
No, it is.
Oh, you got to hear it.
We've got it right here, Louie. Yeah. Well, that's all that we've got for the show today, gang. Don't worry. Louie, thank you very much for being here. It's always great to have you. And we just can't tell you how grateful and happy we are to have you every day.
That was a mistake on my part.
Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow? Yeah? No? Okay.
Which woman are you married to or living with now?
We'll see you tomorrow, right? That's
you know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Okay, see, it's always the matter of money. Yeah. Yes, don't worry. The check's in the mail. So's yours, Gilbert. Yeah. Thank you, Bud, for being here again today. It was great having you.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
Well, thank you, Gilbert. Great having you. And thank you, HTLA listeners. More and more every day, we're spreading like a disease from the Homeland Security Research Center. Yes, we are. And we're going to continue our research here every day.
Yes.
So thank you, listeners out there. iHeart, iTunes, Spreaker.com, Stitcher.com, Podcast One, Universal Radio. Holy crap. Geez, are they broadcasting us on Pluto? I'm pretty sure they are. And if they are, well, nuke chuck. That's right. You didn't know I could speak Plutonian. Yes. Well, listen, you all have a great day. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for the Friday Frappacino. That's right, 2 hours of ungodly holiness to kick off your weekend. Have a great day, gang. Yes, or ungodly holiness or unholy godliness, whatever it is. I don't know. What the hell is it? Yeah. Well, there you go. There it is right there, whatever the hell it is. Yep. That's right. Oh, hey. How y'all doing? That's right. 3 p.m. Eastern, of course. You're listening to HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. And, of course, that can only mean one thing. Well, at least, till today. Because next week we're moving to that new time slot, 5 p.m. Eastern. Yes, we're moving ever closer to prime time. Yes. Oh, we got lots today on the good show for you, so fasten your seatbelts and hold on to your butts because it's good. It's going to be good today. This is, of course, Coffee and Cigarettes, your Friday Frappuccino with yours truly, Chris Crash Jesus Taylor in HTLA Studio 2, right here live in downtown Manhattan, and lots to cover today. 2-hour special extravaganza show. We got it going on. That's right, we do. Oh, you actually want to know what we're talking? Okay, well, hey, yeah, I'll tell you what's on the show today. How about the 5 things you need to know? Yeah, we got those. Yes, and other stories we're following, too. Yeah, we're professional and stuff. We've got other stories and things going on. How about that suspected Chattanooga shooter worked at a tech plant? Woohoo! Yeah, isn't that great? I'm glad we know that now. Not. But he did, and we've got it for you. Also, a big shocker today is the woman who killed and froze her children. Well, she gets life in prison. Yeah. Big surprise there. Everybody on Twitter's just, what? Yeah, well, also today, it's Daddy and Daughter Overnighter in New York Day for the Obamas. That's right, Obama news aplenty. And he will also help send off Jon Stewart on his daily show before his retirement. That's right. I told you this before. I'll say it again. I will. Obama is going to, when he's done the presidency, he is going to absolutely 100% get into the entertainment business. Mark my words, it's coming, people. And, well, you know, if you just look at the Kardashians, there's no talent there either, and they do it. So, hey, there you go. That's how I know. That's right. In other news, Army Chief says up to 14,000 GIs may soon get the axe. Yes, and a first. The FAA-approved drone delivery is bringing medical supplies to rural Virginia today. And hey, are you Wi-Fi aware? Well, we'll find out. Yes, we will. Yes, all that and so much more today. So come join us on our 2-hour Friday extravaganza and say goodbye to our 3 p.m. time slot and hello to Gilbert's love of singing. So hey, come on in and grab a cup, have a seat, and light one up, gang. It's the coffee time. That's right, it is. Yes, Coffee and Cigarettes, HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, where it is 79 degrees Central Park right now, under some sunny skies for this 17th of July, 2015, and it's 3:05 p.m. Yes, I don't know why they get me to do the time check here. This isn't bricks and mortar, you idiots. But anyway, I'm not going to complain about the higher-ups here at HTLA, because I would never do anything like that. No. That's not my style. Well, hey, if you are kicking around your browsers right now, get on over to, what is it, Spreaker.com. Yes, I almost forgot the damn name. Spreaker.com. Punch in HTLA in the old search window there. Come on down to HTLA Radio 1 and hang out with the First Lady of HTLA. Yes, the one, the only. Devlon Crawford is in the house at the Spreaker live chat room. As well as Aaron, and I think we've got Sharon Chesley, and we've got Shelley Nichols in there today. We've got the list goes on, and if you're anybody who's somebody, you definitely have to get on over to Spreaker.com and become a Spreaker All-Star. That's right, it's fast, easy, and free. Get on over there and do that, or something bad will happen. I don't know what. But there you go. So welcome, listeners, in the Spreaker.com chat room. Always good to have the conversations aflowing in there. And, hey, sometimes we actually, learn on this show. We learn from our listeners. They throw things in there that we did not know. There you go. So putting out the stuff that you don't know and giving back by giving us stuff we don't know. Yeah, it's a good give or take. Yeah, right. I'll shut up now. In the booth, pushing the buttons, making the show go, of course, today. It's the one, the only former social media goddess herself, the one, the only Jenny McCartney. Yes, she is. She's right there, and she's pushing the buttons on that PreSonus 2442 digital broadcast mixer. Finally furnished by the folks at PreSonus.com. If you're looking for anything in professional or even consumer-grade audio, check out PreSonus.com, and they got it going on. Also, this show is brought to you by the fine folks, Tim Hortons, New York City, now with those 8 fine locations in the city to serve all of your coffee and baked goods needs. Get on over there. Never going to find a video camera in the bathroom. Tim Hortons, always fresh. That's right. It is. Now, I guess moving on, I do have to introduce our guest/co-host for the show today. Of course, coming to us live via satellite, because that's the way he likes it, is the one, the only former film and television director extraordinaire, the one, the only Louis Lawless of LDL Films, currently coming to us live from Mill Bay Studios in beautiful Mill Bay, British Columbia, Canada. Are you there, sir?
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yes, sir. We've got that. Not to worry. We've got you. We've got you covered there.
My film Unrepented did very well in Europe.
Yes, it did, and that was in 2009. Can you talk about something else, maybe?
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, okay, we all make them. It's fine, you know.
We were 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
Yeah.
And we didn't.
Right. But that's fine, because that's, you know, how we're able to get you, so...
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss, as I always do on the show? As I tell you every day, sir, Jenny has you on that 20-second delay, and she's got the button there, and I'm looking at her through the glass right now and looking into her eyes, lovingly saying, "You will press that button, won't you?" Oh, yes, she's nodding, so you go ahead, sir. It's about fucking time. Move on.
Okay, so she didn't. Oh, and that ratchety little cackle... Yes, that ratchety little cackle can only belong to one man.
What the fuck?
Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah. It's true. The one, the only Gilbert Gottfried, coming to us about 8 blocks down the street from Studio 2 in downtown Manhattan, from his sprawling, spacious, luxurious, mansion-esque kind of, apartment. How are you doing today, sir?
And this is... I f***ed that up.
You're not good today.
It's not awful, but just not good.
No. Well, that's okay. I'm quite sure that you'll be able to, I don't know, give us some Cary Grant canting or some Jerry Lewis directing Hervé Villachez to save the day.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm never worried when I work with you.
What
no.
the fuck?
No. Well, okay. Maybe a bit.
I'm ready.
You're ready. Well, you heard it, folks. He said he was ready. And are you going to take off your headphones for today's weather report, Gilbert?
Yes.
Yeah, see? There you go. Good man. He's learning. That's right. And if you haven't heard it yet, you're going to get an earful, and I'm sorry. Yes, you are. And, of course, I'm referring to our lovely HTLA meteorologist himself, the one, the only Frankie McDonald, coming to us, apparently, it seems, from somewhere in Nova Scotia,
yeah.
I believe is his home base. But we keep a little closet for him here at HTLA with a 19-inch LCD monitor, and he seems to do just fine, apparently.
And I think there were complaints about it.
There have been so many email complaints about him. But, you know, I'm not in charge.
Yes.
So, you know, I just do what I'm supposed to do every day.
Same thing.
Yeah, over and over.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to
do. It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
You do? Well, good, because I've got an absolute ass ton for you. Yes, I do. We've lined it up today. But before we get into any of that stuff at all.
Yes.
You know, it's like, what was that? The John Huston.
Yes.
Yes, he used to say, "There will be no stories before their time." And he went on later to produce such epic commercials as Smith Varney. We earn it that way or something. I really don't know, old chap. Yeah, it was something to do with Smith Varney, but I'm in the old folks' home now, and I don't know. Yes, before we get into all that, yes, we do have some other station business to do that the station doesn't even know about. That's right. We're doing some shout-outs, salutations, welcoming some new listeners, of course. Number one up on the old hit parade.
Yes.
Of course, be Miss Leanne Goodwin, yes, from Nashville, Tennessee. She's loving the show, and she's sharing us out to all her unsuspecting friends.
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Well, no, I'm sure she has people that love her, and I'm positive of it. She's got more friends than me on Facebook. Yes, so there's Leanne Goodwin. Thanks for tuning in today. Always good to have more folks from Nashville, Tennessee, coming on the white power bandwagon. Yes, we do have a quota for killing more unarmed black people. We gotta. So Leanne is going to help us do that.
Now here's a segue.
Yeah.
Anytime, Gilbert.
I'd like to have that as my slogan in life.
What, like silence? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the show Gilbert. Hey, shut up. Don't laugh. There's supposed to be silence before I say Godfried.
Yes.
Idiot.
And I finally figured out how to edit.
Yeah, that's great, Louie. That's for later in the show. Oh, well, Leanne Goodwin from Nashville, Tennessee. No, seriously, thanks for listening to the show. We really appreciate it, and we hope you come back. But if not, we completely, totally understand. Yes, we do. Also, I got to do some shout-outs to, she sent me a like page. And,
yes.
Well, I don't, usually when people send me like pages,
yes,
I'm like, well, I'm glad you like, Dukiyama kitchen cookware.
Yes.
But I don't like Dukiyama kitchen cookware, so I'm not liking the stinking page. But Leanne actually sent me a page of something that not only I liked, I'm going to give a mention on this show because, damn it, it's worth it.
Yes.
Yeah. That, of course, is Joey Gattina Motorsports. That's right. After breaking into the ARCA series, Joey Gattina is continuing to keep his dream alive. 12 years in the racing world, and he's doing quite well at it. For more information about Joey and his racing career, you can go to joeygracing.com. There you go. And I know, Gilbert, you've got a bunch of things you want to promote and push and
yes,
sell, but I'm not doing that because you're not paying us for that. So. Why don't you before we get into some of the other stuff I've got to do here,
yes,
why don't you sing a little song?
Take me to your heart, show me where to start, let me play the part of your first love. All the stars are right, let us make a wish tonight, my love. Pity those who wait, trust in love to fate, finding out too late that they've lost it. Never let it go. You will never know the ways of love.
Oh, yeah. You know, I gotta say, I love that so much better than that Problem Child crap you used to sing.
Yes.
That was terrible stuff, but I'm glad we got over that. So, yes, finally, thank you, Leanne Goodwin, for joining the show today, and let us know when your birthday is, and we'll go on about it for months.
Yes, we will. And same goes for Joey Gattina Motorsports, too.
Yes.
You know, if we find out how old Joey is and when his birthday is, God, we'll never shut up about it. Oh, it's true story. So I guess, is it time? Yes, it is. It is actually time for us to move on to the first story of today.
Yes.
And what is that first story? Well, it's kind of been preempted by yours truly.
Yes.
The first story of today, of course, is about the suspected Chattanooga shooter. That bear assault we told you about yesterday. But I have decided, I've made an executive decision.
Yes.
And I've decided to tell you about the 5 things you need to know today. I think that it's much more important.
Yes.
So first of all, Friday, of course, marks 60 years since Walt Disney welcomed the first guest to his happy place, and the theme parks are rolling out the Diamond Year celebrations. The innovator's dream sparkles with a new paint, the night parade, fireworks, shows, and, of course, the World of Color, all celebrating. Shows hosted by Neil Patrick Harris and Mickey Mouse. The Matterhorn, Abominable Snowman, also got an upgrade. And Imagineers brought back the original and legendary Hatbox Ghost in the Haunted Mansion. Think you know your Disney trivia? Well, you could take a quiz, but I'm not going to do that to you. I'm nice. And 1 year later, still few answers in the shoot-down of MH17 over the Ukraine. Yes, it has been a year since the Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 was blown out of the sky over war-ravaged eastern Ukraine. But there's still little certainty on what actually brought it down. Most evidence points to the plane being taken down by a missile over an area controlled by pro-Russian rebels. But where the weapon was fired from, the air or the ground, and who fired it still remains unclear. Ukrainian and Western officials say the plane was shot down by a rebel missile, and Russia supplied the weapon or trained rebels how to use it. Both the rebels and Moscow deny that, and the families of 298 victims are still waiting for answers. Now, the third thing you need to know is the Detroit mom, yes, we've got this story, in the freezer murder case, has been sentenced today. A Detroit mother who admitted to beating, burning, and killing 2 of her children remains in court today for sentencing. Michelle Blair, 36, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder in June for the deaths of Stephen Barry, 9 years old, and his sister, Stoney Blair, 13 years old. Calling them demons, and faces mandatory life in prison without possibility of parole. Police discovered the bodies in her freezer March 24th. Blair told the court she doesn't have any remorse, but still admits guilt for her children's deaths. Isn't that nice? Oh, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, she's black. Yeah. There you go. Well, the number 4 thing you need to know today, of course, is Japan Hotels goes really high-tech and, well, weird. Yes. How about a robot dinosaur receptionist? Yeah, not even kidding. That's right. A robot dinosaur receptionist will greet guests at Japan's Hen-na Hotel when it opens today. The property in Sansibo is using robots, not all of them dinosaurs, you idiot, to perform a variety of functions, including checking in guests, carrying luggage to rooms, and making cups of coffee. Wow. Pretty soon this is going to be Welcome to Jurassic and Cigarettes. Wow, yeah. Carrying a luggage to rooms, making cups of coffee. Yes, the Hen-na Hotel isn't the first to employ robots. Starwood Hotel is also experimenting with smart technology like robot butlers. And finally, number 5 today in the list of things you need to know, Muslims to celebrate end of Ramadan with Eid al-Fitr. Yes. Yes, because you need to know this.
Yes.
That's what. Well, actually, in fairness, we do have a lot of Muslim listeners from Iran on this show. We do. course, that's just because they like my sand spider, you know.
Yes, warriors of the Crimson Jihad. No longer will we be forced to bow down to the pantyhose-wearing imperialists. Yes. We will raise holy pillars of fire in your cities each week until our demands are met.
That's right. Muslims will gather today to mark the end of Ramadan with the annual Eid al-Fitr celebration. Yes, since June 17th, observers of Ramadan have fasted each day to celebrate Eid. Muslims gather early in the morning for a prayer and then spend the rest of the day blowing up infidels. Oh, no, sorry. That says exchanging gifts.
Yes.
Eating and visiting with family. Eid occurs at the start of the 10th month of the Islamic lunar calendar each year at the site of the new moon. I wonder what Ella thinks about Pluto. Well, moving on today, it is time for us to take that dreaded commercial break.
Yes. Break for a commercial.
Thank you, boss. I'll get on that. But when we come back, we're going to get into the Chattanooga shooter, and I'm telling you, it's a bear sniper. That's right, and we've got that and so many more stories. There's literally too much to list. We're selling it. It's got to go. That's right, so stay right where you're at, and we'll be back into...
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice Body Spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was
beautiful.
A broom closet.
But the
worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Hi, I'm Melvin Leroy with the camera and the thing and the person with the and I'm Melvin
Okay.
Take me to your heart. Show me where to start.
Gilbert, please stop singing when other music is playing. I don't mind when you sing when, no music's playing. It's actually, God dare I say it, kind of good.
Yes.
But don't do it during other music, you little tard.
$88,000 a year they make, approximately average, 80s, let's say. And there's 1,000, that's $88 million a year that we're paying as taxpayers.
Well, that may be so, Louis, but I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. And here's another thing, Louis. Why don't you bring that up just before we got to go to Frankie McDonald with the weather?
Yes.
God, don't understand that.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, make sure you do that again when Frankie's coming on. Welcome back to the big show today. Your coffee and cigarettes, HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. That's right. Best and only, that's for sure. 17th of July, Friday Frappacino, special 2-hour edition of the show today. Still 80 degrees in, I guess we'll call it the little bitch that it is, Central Park. Yeah. 80 degrees, sunshine, and a few clouds blowing around. Not really a big deal.
Yeah.
We don't care. It's all good. You're out there walking your dogs or doing whatever the hell you're doing. You're doing it right by listening to us. Yeah. I'm going to do a little shout-out to Bjorn Erickson all the way from Baltimore, Maryland, who's catching us on the commute today. He is on the train, ladies and gentlemen. This just in, he is on the train.
Yes.
Yes. And Bjorn, of course, if you run into any senators, send them my love with the knee to the nuts. Yeah. I don't care. Democrats, Republicans, the nuts are all the same.
Yes.
And I finally figured out how to edit.
Yeah, this is coming from the man who 25 years ago taught me everything I know about film and television directing. Yeah, you just learned how to edit. That's great news. It's a good thing I took those homeschooling courses on top of your lovely course. Yes.
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
Not frickin' likely, no. I don't think so, but we do have to move on now. But before we do, of course, we do have to fulfill our NAACP obligations. And we've hired the HTLA resident black man, Brock Favors. And Brock's our man in HTLA Chopper 1, and he's got the traffic for us. Brock, are you there?
Hello, everybody out there. This is Brock Favors with Traffic on the Ones. Chad Armstrong is out sick today, so I am filling in for my usual land reports, and I'm up here in the chopper, but I got to tell you guys, I am loving the view. Oh, my God! Oh, no, stop! Oh! Woo! All right. Well, we are over the 10. It is massively clogged down there like a pint of maple syrup on a cool November morning. And we do. Oh, goddamn, we're gonna die in this mother. Oh my God! Okay. Okay, I am very sorry, folks. It's a little bit of a bumpy ride up here. We are now approaching the 405, where the left lane is blocked by a mattress. So somebody is going to be doing a little return to IKEA later today. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Please! Oh, goddamn! Oh, get me out this motherfucking death machine right now! Oh, no, black people ain't meant to be in the sky! We ain't meant to be in the sky, man! Oh, mama, help me, mother. Oh, mama! Well, the 405 is up right now. Ain't nobody going down this. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, folks. I'm very sorry, but I'm losing my up here.
Actually, you have every right to. We're about to crash.
Oh, kill me!
Once again, HTLA Radio 1 New York would like to offer its condolences to the Favors family. And a little reminder, NAACP, he said himself, black people ain't meant to be in the sky.
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
The music is fantastic.
Oh, you like that, do you?
Oh, you got to hear it.
Yeah, that music at the end with the little station switch over. It's pretty good, but, I don't know. I'm not sure if I like it all that much. I mean...
You know why, Chris? Because you're such a control freak, you don't want anyone to tell you what to do.
Really? Is that... Yeah? You think so, huh?
No. No, I
don't. Well, what can you do when you live in that shoe?
Yes.
One of these days, Brock's just not going to show up for work, and, then what do we do, NAACP? Huh? I guess I'll have to do my my black man impression, yeah.
Black people ain't meant to be in the sky. Black people ain't meant to be in the sky.
Oh, my God, he's becoming black. I like it. Do a little rap here.
Oh, I should. I actually do have the drum beat. You know what? I think I'm going to do it.
Yes.
I think I'm going to do it. While Frankie brings us the dreaded weather report today, I'm going to get Jenny to look for the soundbite. I actually did do a rap.
Yes.
I did. It was about 3 years ago. I was drunk.
Yes.
It's called Kingdom.
Yes.
That's right. I got my black groove on, and I got to say, it's pretty good. I'm surprised that it didn't top the charts. I really am. But anyhow, I will bring that to you right after Frankie McDonald and his weather report, which we're all eagerly awaiting because because we really need to know what the weather's going to be this weekend 2 years ago. So, without further ado, HTLA proudly,
yes.
Oh yes, so proudly.
Yes.
Proudly present, of course, the one, the only meteorologist extraordinaire of HTLA, the one, the only Frankie McDonald with your weekend weather. Frankie, give her a go.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Typhoon Chan-Hom is now headed towards Guam on Saturday, July 4th, 2015. It's going to bring up to 30-plus millimeters rain. It's going to be wind-driven rain. It's going to be sideways rain in Guam. And it's going to bring big, huge waves crashing on the beaches and shores of Guam as well. It's going to bring down power lines and snapping telephone poles in half and snapping tree branches in half. It's going to be powerful winds gusting up to well over 100 kilometers per hour, which is a Category 1 typhoon. It's going to bring powerful winds with wind-driven rain in Guam. And the Typhoon Chan-Hom is currently moving westward direction. Then it's going to turn west-northwest direction and aim towards Guam on Saturday, July 4th, 2015. It's going to bring a lot of rain and very strong winds. It's capable of knocking out power in snapping tree branches in half and bringing down power lines and snapping telephone poles in half in Guam. People in Guam, be prepared. Have your rubber boots ready for raincoats, ready for raincoats, ready.
What about the pizza?
During the Typhoon Chan-Hom,
Pizza and Chinese food?
yeah. Stay indoors and don't go outside. Make sure you have your raincoats ready, rubber boots ready, and rain suits ready. Wear your rain gear, wear your rubber boots, wear your raincoats to keep you dry. When the typhoon gets real bad, stay indoors and don't go outside. Stay away from the beaches and don't go near the shores. Because the Typhoon Chan-Hom is going to be real bad in Guam on Saturday, July 4th, 2015. It's going to bring powerful winds, big waves crashing on the shores. Make sure you have your flashlights ready, candles ready, crank up radio ready, generators ready, and extra batteries ready, and bottled water ready as well. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food buy cases of Pepsi, buy cases of Coke. Hey, if your iPad's charged, hey, if your iPhone's charged, hey, if your Samsung Galaxy smartphone's charged, hey, if your Samsung Galaxy tablet's charged, hey, if your laptop's charged, hey, if your tablet's charged, hey, if your 3G and 4G ain't ready. Because Typhoon Chainhom's going to be very powerful in Guam on Saturday, July 4th, 2015. If everybody living in Guam, be prepared for Typhoon Chainhom on Saturday, July 4th, 2015. Best of luck to you, people in Guam. Be prepared for Typhoon Chainhom on Saturday. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a typhoon. Stay dry, be safe.
Thank you, Frankie, for the report. Once again, HTLA would like to extend our condolences and apologies to the listening audience. Yes, that was the meteorologist that apparently has an ironclad contract here, and I can't get rid of him.
Yes. That was a mistake on my part.
Oh, are you agenting for Frankie now?
No, I don't, because I asked him, I said, well, fly out here and I'll film you.
To which he said...
Yes.
Why would you want to film anyone who sounds like that? You know he's got a big head and drools.
He needs love, Chris. Come on.
I know.
You gotta dispense more love from yourself. All these people are hurting here.
Okay, well, at the next commercial break, Jenny, you get in here and fluff me, and I'll start dispensing some love.
Yes.
Yes. Now, moving on, of course, normally we have the coffee and cigarettes, the traffic report there.
Yes.
And then we go to Frankie, of course, with whatever inane thing he's going to be selling.
Yes.
Right? And then we get back onto the stories, the reason that we're actually, I don't know, maybe kind of all here.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Yeah. Well, but things are changing a little bit today because, I don't know, I'm just kind of taking over. I don't care.
Yes.
Because of the folks in the Spreaker.com live chat room, of course, they've mentioned certain things, of course, at the beginning of the show. For those of you who weren't in there and don't know, Devlon Crawford, the HTLA's first lady of radio right there.
Yes.
She actually posted that she didn't want any more sheep. So I made a little joke about, there being nothing but more sheep. And that's all fine. But I thought we'd do her a little kind of, I guess a little honor.
Yes.
Now, we don't have, it's not technically sheep, it's goats. But... we have this clip that we did up for the HTLA morning show, The Morning Boner.
Yes.
Yes, and I know it's loved by you, Gilbert.
Yes.
But now I'm getting glared at by Devlon. Uh-oh. But for the Morning Boner morning show, of course, we had something. Well, it's a little musical piece that I put together. And it's not technically sheep, but it's just about as annoying. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to present Goat Scream.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
Yes, thank you. That was never before broadcasted, quite in that manner on any other show but the morning show, and aren't you thankful?
also, I did mention before that commercial break that, I used to be a rapper in my old days.
Yes.
Yeah, and
oh my God, he's becoming black. I like it.
Yeah.
Do a little rap there too.
Well, I'm going to do a little rap, Louie. This is a track I did about 3 years ago.
Yes.
Maybe 3.5 now. I don't know. I'm old.
Yes.
But yes, and I'm getting the move along. Screw you. Yeah, from HTLA's Second Lady. Yes. Sharon Hundley Chesley, of course, in the Spreaker.com live chat room, and I'm going to stop selling that thing now.
Yes.
Jesus. But anyway, I did a rap about 3.5 years ago. Now, in fairness, I did. We sped up my voice a little bit to kind of work a little more with the groove.
Yes.
And I guess unless you're black and unless you understand the jiving like I do. This is a little thing that I did about me and my buddy Daryl running for president, and I think it's actually timely. In fact, maybe after I play this, you all will want me to be your president. Yeah. But anyway, here it is. HTLA is very proud to present Crash Jesus and his rap debut track of Kingdom.
Yeah! Motherfucker. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah! Motherfucker. Come on. But now you motherfuckers is crazy. That's what I'm talking about.
What we got here is a man who knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah! Motherfucker.
That's what I just said. We got a man who knows
what he's talking about. Know what I'm talking about?
Yeah!
Rocky Marciano? What the hell Rocky Marciano got to do with this song?
Come on. Yo, tell him, Daryl.
Now my name's Daryl and that's my boy Chris. We're running for prez.
Yeah, that's how it is. Policy, platform, and campaign. We're going to bring it to the people and let freedom reign.
Motherfuckers is crazy. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah!
Take it down and turn it up.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Daryl is the man with the presidential plan. Graduated cum laude at the U of San Fran. He's got the look, the style, with all the right clothes. He's gonna put down all the niggas who oppose. Yeah, that boy gonna put them down.
Come on!
Come on! Bring the troops home in less than a week. Let Iraq deal with their own fucking freak. He's gonna bring down taxes with a mighty black fist. He's got $1 trillion plan and a long hit list.
Take it down and turn it up.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Now, Oprah be so proud of her Obama man, yet the great leader freezes in the face of the plan. Now the House sits down and waits for the moves, but they just don't come like they promised they'd do. Yeah, man, where is those promises?
Take it down and turn it up.
They said they do away with Guantanamo Bay. They said they do away with the tax we gotta pay. They said they do it right for the once and the all. Yet they lie to our faces and they got us by the balls.
Take it down and turn it up.
Now we got a problem with the pandy leaks. They follow us around, spreading their disease. Kevin T. Stein is a glory-seeking bitch.
Yes.
Shit he writes, you think we were the fucking Crips.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Take it down and turn it up.
Now Scarlet rumor that babe be truly fine. But what is she doing with that Kevin T. Stein? He likes to smear us with all his bullshit and tell the public he's truly legit.
Yeah, Stein, we got something
Take it down and turn it up. When they kept our campaign manager, Chunky Linda, say, that ain't gonna stop us, cause that's the game we bring. We got our gaks, we got our Uzis and our nines. Move over, bitch, cause it's Harris Taylor time.
Yeah, we got man and know what he's talking about. Know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you wait, Christian. We coming for you.
Yeah, bitch.
Oh!
Yeah!
Oh! Oh! There you go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. My one and only attempt at rap music. And, well, I still don't know why that didn't go to number one. I don't know. But there it is, and there's a nice little bonus for you on this last 3 p.m. Friday show for Coffee and Cigarettes.
Yes.
And you've heard it now, and we'll never hear it again. We'll just call that done. How about that? We'll just yeah.
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Is that what I'm doing? Yeah. Nobody loves me, Louie. Hey, I'll have you know, I have 700 lovers on Facebook. Well, geez, just about an hour into the show here of our 2-hour egg extravaganza on Friday here.
Yes.
And, well, I really haven't gotten to the first bloody story. So, I guess, without further ado, I should probably, I don't know, maybe do that? Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it today. Suspected Chattanooga shooter worked at a tech plant. Yes, that's the big news out of Nashville today. The suspected shooter in the Chattanooga attacks left 4 U.S. Marines dead on Thursday. He did indeed work at the Franklin at Superior Essex, Inc. A source knowledgeable about the investigation told the Tennessean. A company employee approached the Williamson County Sheriff's Office and told authorities that the suspected shooter worked at the plant. The source said Superior Essex is a technology manufacturing company that, according to its website, designs, produces, and supplies wire and cable products to the filthy terrorist unions. Well, authorities identified the gunman as, another fine, upstanding American.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Muhammad Yusuf Abdulaziz. Yes, and obviously, Muhammad Yusuf Abdulaziz.
Yes.
Obviously, he was from Hickson, Tennessee.
I remember back in 1976, we was down in the old blues club in Memphis, Tennessee, and we heard this beautiful guitarist. His name was Muhammad Yusuf Abdulaz. It's like Ry Cooder, only better.
Yeah, or not. What the frick? What the hell is that? Really? Yes, fine, upstanding American Muhammad Yusuf Abdulaziz. Yes. Well, though the spelling of his first name was in dispute, of course, with federal officials and records giving at least 4 variations, another source told the Tennessean that Abdulaziz split his name between Chattanooga and the Nashville area, offering further confusion to Taliban names. Well, a Federal Bureau of Investigation spokesperson confirmed the agency made sweeps at the Superior Essex facility in Franklin, just south of Nashville in Williamson County, where it is reported Abdulaziz was employed. At the request of the company and in an overabundance of caution, agents conducted a safety check to make sure nothing remained that would harm employees at that location.
FBI spokesperson Joel Sisovic says last night. A longtime employee at Superior Essex spoke to the Tennessean on a condition of anonymity last night, fearing for his job if he identified himself. The employee said he worked with Abdulaziz and that Abdulaziz was a shift supervisor at the company. I know it's cliche to say this, but I would have never thought this of him. The employee said, he's always nice, polite, well-spoken. I'm shocked. I still think that it can't be him. Well, the employee said he believed Abdulaziz had worked for the company for 2 or 3 months and that he never said anything much about his personal life. I guess we all knew he was a Muslim, the employee said. He did say he was doing a fasting for Ramadan. Other than that, he was just like any other guy who worked here. Minus the beard and the Taliban lid headpiece and the AK-47. Well, federal authorities are investigating yesterday's shooting as a possible act of terrorism. 3 others were wounded yesterday, officials said. The gunman was killed, but authorities have not disclosed how he died. The attacks took place at a recruiting center and other U.S. military sites in Chattanooga. At an evening news conference in Chattanooga last night, the FBI's Ed Reinhold told investigators they're pursuing all leads. We're checking every possible place that he resided or could have resided, visited where he shopped, where he went to school, and who his friends were. If he worked out in a gym, every possible lead, he says. And there you go. That's the end of the story. That's right. But don't fear because, of course, as I mentioned earlier, yes, we do have the story about the mom who killed and put her children in the freezer. Yes. Yes, in Detroit today, the judge told a woman who admitted putting her children in a freezer that as a mother, her primary responsibility was to protect her children, and she failed in the worst possible way. Quote, you imposed the death penalty on your own children, Wayne County Circuit Judge Dana Hathaway told Michelle Blair today. And then she sentenced Blair to life in prison without the possibility of parole for the deaths of her 2 children, Stephen Berry, 9, and Stony Blair, 13, meaning, of course, that you will never get out. 20 minutes later, President Obama phoned and pardoned her. Last month, Blair, 36, pled guilty to first-degree murder in the death of her daughter and felony murder in the death of her son. She called them, quote, demons, and admitted to beating, burning, and killing them. What an idiot. Everybody knows you don't burn demons. They live in fire, for God's sake.
Yes.
They lived in a terrible fear of you, Hathaway said, and I find that just so sad in this case. Blair, a mother of 4, has repeatedly said that she believes Stephen and Stony abused another one of her children, but Wayne County Assistant Prosecutor Karen Goldfarb told the court Friday that there was no evidence the other 2 children were abused in any way. That's a lie, Blair said, interrupting. It prompted the judge to warn her that if she didn't behave, she would be escorted out of the courtroom. Blair's attorney, Wyatt Harris, yes, another black man, said he doesn't know where the prosecutor is getting that abuse didn't happen, and said Blair has remained consistent, and they talked over the last several months. He said he doesn't justify Blair's actions, but said she had a lack of support and didn't cope with the situation in the way that most people would have. Really? I don't know. I thought killing your kids and chopping them up and throwing them in the freezer was pretty common. Well, Blair addressed the court wearing a red jail garb. No, that's orange is the new black, baby. Yes, wearing the orange jail garb with her wrists handcuffed in front of her, and directed many of her words to family of Alexander Dorsey, the father of Stony and their 17-year-old. He was in court Friday and provided a statement to the judge, but the contents of it were not made public. As horrendous as everybody thinks I am, I'm the only one that's not lying about anything, Blair said. The bodies of Stony and Stephen were discovered in a white deep freeze kept in the living room of the family's home in the Martin Luther King Apartments by a crew evicting Blair in March. Authorities said Stephen was killed in 2012. About 9 months later, 2013, Stony suffered the same fate. During a previous court hearing, Blair detailed the abuse she inflicted on her children before their deaths. She said she punched Stony, put a bag over her head until she lost consciousness, threw scalding water on her, and even hit her on the head over and over and kicked and starved her.
Well, isn't it nice that this woman can now get the same treatment in prison? Yes, she meant to kill her daughter, but didn't intentionally kill her son, she said, but acknowledged that her actions caused his death. Blair admitted that she kicked Stephen, punched him, made him drink Windex, burned him in hot water on his genitals, lifted him with a belt around his neck, and put a bag over his head, causing him to lose consciousness. Wow, this lady's a regular Aunt Jemima. Well, Blair's two other children, an 8-year-old boy and a 17-year-old girl, are in the care of a relative. Blair is accused of severely abusing them as well. Thankfully, the house of horrors that you created is no longer in existence, Judge Hathaway said. I do pray that your remaining children will recover from what they saw and had to endure in that household. In a separate case, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services wants to terminate parental rights to the Blair and the fathers of living children. The fathers Stephen Barry and Dorsey are, of course, fighting to keep their parental rights. The state has argued that they failed to protect their children. A final decision in the case could come later this month, but why wait that long? It's pretty easy to figure out, well, let's see. Did you protect the good and well-being of your children?
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
No, you didn't. Next window. Well, moving along, we got to go for another commercial break because we're vastly, vastly late thanks to my rap debut. But don't worry, I don't know if you've actually noticed or not, Gilbert, but yes. We've actually shortened up. We've only we've shortened up the commercials. That's,
yes.
Yeah. I know. It was that minute-long Taylor Swift drivel that we got rid of. Yeah.
I like hanging out in the West End and masturbating in my car.
Yeah, we don't care, Taylor. And hey, how about next time you mention Target.com? You know, those fine folks that paid you millions of dollars to do their commercial and then never mentioned them. Well, that's okay. We wish her the very best, yes. Of course, on her new world tour for the new album, what is it, Blood Suck? Something like that. Anyway, gang, we'll be back in 2.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Good morning. Welcome to Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where fresh always tastes better. What can I make you this morning?
How about our new flatbread breakfast paninis? Made fresh, just for you, with your favorite breakfast ingredients on maple or multigrain flatbread, then grilled to hot, melted perfection. Just $2.99. Who couldn't warm up to that?
Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where quality really does meet value.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Let's do a brand new day. Let's step away from the bland and let the color fly. Let's get to the one store with more #1 choices and match this or this without using too much of this. Then, let's crack open a can and get to it. Paint? No. Let's do POW. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Glidden Duo starts at a new lower price of $25.46 a gallon.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
And now I have to bring up that piece of trivia that everyone feels like they're telling people that they don't know.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
Did you ever see the Charlie's Angels episode with Sammy Davis Jr.? Break for a commercial.
Yeah, okay. That's right, gang. We'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm not going to do that.
How many different families do you have?
Louie, I don't know why you're so interested in my sex life.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Right. Well, how about we talk about you and your criminal activities?
I nearly got kicked out of a theater. I can't remember what I saw about 2 weeks ago because I was booing and screaming.
Yeah, see? Yeah, and about that, the RCMP has called here looking for you. And, of course, that means that you're in trouble.
It's about fucking time. Move on. You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawler.
Yes, I do, and we'll get right to that after the next commercial break. Yes. Welcome back to The Big Show, your coffee and cigarettes Friday Frappuccino on HTLA or Radio 1, New York's best talk. That's right. 78 degrees, Central Park right now. Sunny with a few clouds blowing in.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what do you care? You've got a roof.
I lived in Greenwich Village for a while when I first started out as an actor.
Yeah, I know you've told us that before, but you know what? You don't live there anymore, and the cool kids do, so shut up. That's right.
I think it should be short and sweet.
It is short and sweet. We're doing it.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Well, we're doing it. Welcome back to the show.
The music is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to hear it.
It's over now. Well, moving on, of course, today we have, of course, no shortage of the man who dominated the headlines yesterday.
Yes.
Of course, I'm referring to the one, the only Obama news. Yes, there it is. And it's Dad and Daughter Overnight Day today in New York for the Obamas, and I couldn't be happier. That's right, it is. Washington today. President Obama is headed to New York for a rare father-daughter weekend in the city. He'll also collect some cash for Democrats while he's there. Really? Let's check if that's legal. Well, Obama was headlining at a Democratic fundraiser, of course, tonight, hosted by businessman George Lagothetis. Yeah, I don't know. One of those poor Greeks that moved here and made something. And, of course, not to forget his lovely wife, Nitsa. About 30 supporters are contributing up to $33,400 each just to be in the presence of the man. I wouldn't give a can of Coke just wouldn't. Then, with the politics out of the way, the rest of Obama's New York overnighter was set aside for time with his teenage daughters, Malia and Sasha. Don't we have laws in New York about that? Don't know. Well, Malia, who was 17, was spotted earlier this summer in Brooklyn on the set of HBO's Girls, where she reportedly was interning. Sasha is 14. I told you, the whole damn family's going to entertainment. Well, White House spokesman Josh Earnest said the president was, quote, looking forward to a rare opportunity he'll have to spend a little personal time with his daughters in New York. Sick frick. Of course, Ernest wouldn't say what activities were on the president and first daughter's schedule for the weekend, but says journalists taking part in the weekend would be kept at a distance. Yeah. He then quickly noted that the journalist traveling to New York with the president would not actually be participating in his outings with Malia and Sasha. The night that might interfere with the personal nature of the father-daughter time, he quipped. Yeah. You know, if you put in father-daughter time in Google, you get a bunch of sick porn sites. Yeah. Well, the president rarely stays overnight in New York unless he's here for business, such as the UN General Assembly, and he's due back in Washington, thankfully, tomorrow night. There you go. In other Obama news, well, he's getting a little more, I guess he's adding to that actor resume. Yes, because he's agreed now to help Jon Stewart send him off when Jon Stewart leaves The Daily Show next month. Yes, President Obama will give one last interview to Jon Stewart before he leaves that show next month. Obama will make his 7th and final appearance as a guest on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart on Tuesday, July 21st. The program was announced today. Stewart's last show is scheduled for August 6th. This will be Obama's 3rd Daily Show appearance as president, following 4 gigs as Illinois senator and a presidential candidate. The show listed those previous appearances as October 18th, 2012, October 27th, 2010, October 29th, 2008, and October 21st, 2008, as well as August 22nd, 2007, and November 7th, 2005. Yes, the man does indeed have a long career in the entertainment industry. Holy crap. Well, that's all good for him, and wow, I just can't wait, because damn, won't that be exciting? We'll have President Obama as an actor in Malcolm McDowell's next movie.
No, I would say, go ahead.
Oh, I can talk on my show. No. I'll be damned, thank you. Was there something you wanted to add there, Gilbert?
No, Frank and I were talking that your mother was in a movie.
Yeah, right, and I wasn't. Yeah, okay. Well, moving on today, the Army chief, yes, the big man himself, says up to 14,000 GIs may soon be out of a job. That's right, between 10,000 and 14,000 soldiers could lose their jobs as the Army reduces ranks by 40,000 positions over the next 2 years. The Army chief told reporters today. The number is 3 to 4 times higher than the 3,000 soldiers who lost their jobs in an initial thinning of the ranks last year. General Ray Odierno, who complained that the cutbacks would hurt the Army's ability to respond quickly to crises, said efforts would be taken to reduce the numbers of soldiers. We might have to ask some to leave, with such steps as reducing the influx of new recruits brought into the Army. Yeah, this is funny.
Yes.
This is funny because, you know, all the conspiracy theorists right now with this whole J to Helm thing.
Yes.
They're all on high alert. You know, they're, oh my God, in Texas, there's Walmarts getting taken over by containers full of, like, ninjas to take away your guns. Yeah, it's of course a military exercise,
yes.
and you know they're doing it, and the conspiracy guys are like, oh yeah, they're gonna do something to us, they're gonna take us all over or
yes.
something. And the military's like, well, sorry, we got to cut back and let a bunch of you guys go because we just. You know, I guess they have too many ninjas or something.
Yes.
Well, General J. Odierno continues. He said it was likely that 5,000 to 8,000 officers and 5,000 to 6,000 sergeants of various grades would be let go during the force reduction. The reductions will leave the Army with a force of 450,000 to control the people of the United States anyway. There we go. If automatic budget cuts known as sequestration take place as expected in October, the Army would lose another 30,000 positions. Our ability to respond slows down, Odierno said. We're not going to be able to do everything we're being asked to do. He said that the force reduction might elicit reactions from rival nations as well. I worry that some people might receive our ability to respond that is being degraded, which would embolden them to do things, he said. If we send the wrong message, we could have miscalculations. Russian President Vladimir Putin could miscalculate. North Korea could miscalculate. He says it could be a whole big shitstorm. Well, Odierno said that reviewing these soldiers who might be let go, commanders will try to avoid those who faced reviews during the last round of layoffs in 2014. He said that over the past 3 years, the Army has reduced its number of generals
by a total of 35. What he's leaving out there is that it's Obama that's doing the reduction of those generals,
Yes.
and he's replacing them with Muslim generals. But we don't need to talk about that. Moving on today, we've got a digital technological first. Yes, we do. A first FAA-approved drones delivery brings medical supplies to rural Virginia. That's right, in Wise, Virginia. A first Federal Aviation Administration-approved drone delivery of medical supplies brought asthma, high blood pressure, and diabetes medications to sick patients at a sprawling rural health clinic in Virginia today. It's going to revolutionize the way we deliver health care, says Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe. This is a Kitty Hawk moment, he says.
Yes.
Well, at least their drone doesn't look as stupid as that plane did. Well, in places like these remote hills, it can take an hour for healthcare workers to get medicine and supplies to residents, but drones could fly them over in 5 minutes, says Chris Hall, Chief Operating Officer of Remote Area Medical, which put on the free clinic expected to treat 1,500 people. The future of this delivery technology could be tremendous, not only for remote area medical, but for things like transporting ninjas to take over America. Says RAM founder Stan Brock. Although you can get a drone at Radio Shack for under $100, drones would have to be FAA approved to be used for medical purposes, and those would currently cost too much, says physician Joe Smitty, medical director of the nonprofit Health Wagon, which provides care to 5,000 rural Virginians. Flirty, a drone delivery company found in Australia, demonstrated the drone Friday. Tracy Bailey, 50 years old, says she's thankful for the drone in the RAM event. Well, if you're 50 years old, everybody's thankful for a RAM event. Oh yeah, Christ! And when I can actually get it up to RAM,
Yes.
Wow, I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Yes, Louis, but as I keep telling you, it's a tip I'd like to explore. Yes, well, Tracy says, I believe the Lord drove our drone here with medical supplies. Really? We're going to soon have, you mark my words, we're going to have the drone religion. All praise 7218.
Yes.
Yes, the Lord brought our drone here with the medical supplies, says Bailey, who has been going to RAM since 2000. To me, RAM is something God sent to help people who want to help themselves. Or did that say to ram me? No. No, I had it right the first time. It's to me, RAM.
Yes.
Right, okay. And a house cleaner and daughter of a coal miner, she says her family has been living in these hills for 6 generations and she will never leave despite the terrible economy in the area. She was at RAM on Friday for dental work and glasses, as most Virginians in the hills desperately need. We'll hobble into RAM, but we'll walk in proud, she says. McAuliffe, a Democrat who used the opportunity to renew his pitch to expand Medicaid to the poorest of the poor in Virginia, said state legislators who voted against the expansion should come and see all of the sick and needy patients. Then tell me we don't need drones. Well, McAuliffe's efforts to expand Medicaid in Virginia were blocked, of course, by Republican legislators last year. On Tuesday, Alaska Governor Bill Walker, an independent elected last year, said he was pushing forward with Medicaid expansion in his state, which, of course, had been blocked by the GOP-controlled legislature. Referring to the many who need several or all of their teeth removed, McAuliffe said, you'll see in there buckets of teeth. Nobody should be neglected and only getting health care one day a year, he said. The big questions reporters had for him then was, will the drones be able to lift all of the teeth they pull? No word on that as we move along.
Yes.
Well, moving along today, of course, we've got, it's kind of an interesting story. It's,
yes.
Yeah. Nashville, first of all, I didn't even know we had these. Nashville Islamic leaders
Oh, Ajib, I'm all about the country music. Where is... I come to America for Johnny Cash.
Yes.
Well, apparently, Nashville Islamic leaders are condemning the Tennessee rampage. That kind of doesn't make sense to me either, because Islamic leaders love rampages. Well, in Nashville today, Muslim and mosque leaders... Christ, they've got mosques there too?
Yes.
What the hell country did I move to? What? Yes, Muslim and mosque leaders from across Nashville gathered Thursday night to react to Thursday's shooting in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where a gunman opened fire at 2 military recruiting centers, killing 4 Marines before dying himself from a gunshot. The shooting suspect, 20-year-old... Jack Davies?
Yes.
24-year-old Jenny Stewart? Yeah? Or geez, how about 24-year-old Ben Thompson? No, it was 24-year-old Mohammed Yusuf Al-Budaziz.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Yes, the shooting suspect, 24-year-old Mohammed Yusuf Al-Budaziz of course, Hickson, Tennessee, was identified as Muslim. Really? I wonder who did that identification. Well, did they get like Ray Charles to come on up and check him out? Oh, baby, yeah, that's a Muslim, baby. Georgia. I got some Muslim in my knees.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yes, he was identified indeed as a Muslim, once again creating fear within the Islamic community. They're not afraid, they're doing it. Oh, my God. Yes, it's creating fear in the Muslim community. Worries about repercussions. Oh, well, yeah, you should be feared. Very feared. Together, the leaders who gathered at Casa Azafran, a central place in Nashville where multi-ethnic groups meet, expressed a desire to change the dialogue, reaching a place where the faith of race and of the criminal does not become a generalization for actions of every person who shares the same religion or skin color. Okay, so the news report we did yesterday about those former IRA terrorists gone into retirement.
Yes.
I now know what they need to be doing.
Yes.
I'm going to get on the horn to Ireland, and I'm going to bring them over and send them on down to Casa Azafran. And yes, when the bombs go off and all the Muslims die, you can thank Crash Jesus. Well, Paul Galloway of the American Muslim Advisory Council condemned the attack as an effort to incite terror and divide the company along faith lines. Well, win! That's right. I don't even have a faith, and I'm against you. That's right. The Tennessee Muslim community unequivocally condemns Thursday's heinous and unjustified attack in Chattanooga, for which 4 U.S. Marines were murdered and at least 3 other people, including 1 Chattanooga police officer, were injured, said Galloway. The Tennessee Muslim community wishes to express our deepest condolences to the victims and their families. Terrorists seek to divide our society, and we pray that all Americans stand together, united against their wanton violence and hatred. Well, I don't know. I'd hate to be a turban-wearing mother going down to any bar in Nashville tonight. As Thursday closed Ramadan, a month of fasting observed by Muslims worldwide, Galloway and the local Muslim community has come off a time of Herculean efforts to connect with the community through acts of violence. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that reads acts of service. Galloway also shared a statement with Zulfat Suara, chairman of the American Muslim Council, calling for Tennesseans to unite in prayers for the families of those killed. I don't think you'll be seeing that. Well, no, they might unite in prayers for those killed.
Yes.
But they're certainly not going to unite in prayers for you.
Yes.
Let us honor their memories by doing good deeds like donating to our local blood banks and exploring ways to support their families after this tragedy, she said. Well, okay, so you said that. Let's see you do something. Fashad Rakhadan, president of the Islamic Center of Nashville. Why is there like 50 different agencies and associations in Nashville for Islam? Where the hell is Dolly Parton when you need her? She just go in there with her boobs and sweep them all out of there. Well, anyway, Rashid Farhagukan Duke had a... I don't... Well, so-and-so at the Islamic Center of Nashville...
Yes.
called Abdulaziz a criminal who carried out despicable acts and said that although Abdulaziz may be identified as a Muslim, the faith condemns such crimes in every form and fashion. Really? Well, how come every corner of the world, anywhere you find Muslims, you find this exact same shit? Why is that? It's just magical or what?
Power tends to corrupt. Absolute power corrupts absolute.
Well, and it's about time we get some absolute power down and wipe them out. Just full stop. Full stop.
You know why, Chris? Because you're such a control freak, you don't want anyone to tell you what to do.
No, I just want the Muslims all dead. Yes, Abdulaziz may be identified as a Muslim, but his faith condemns such crimes in every form and fashion. Really? Well, why did he do it? Well, all of a sudden we have to live on the edge, worried that people might start thinking that's us, and that's not us, Federukin al-Abdadi said. No, it's Jim from accounting. Galloway urged American Muslim communities to be in regular contact with the law enforcement agencies. Just keep an open line to 911. You're going to need it. As for the safety and security of our communities and institutions and our entire nation. He said all of the Nashville mosques have been... I still can't get over that. Nashville mosques? You know, how are they building up this infrastructure here? This is America, for God's sake. Next, you'd be telling me there's Al-Qaeda training grounds right here in the USA.
Yes.
Oh, actually, no, scratch that. There is. Yes, he said all of the Nashville mosques have been put on high alert and will remain on alert in the coming weeks. I guess they're worried about looters coming to steal their gold records. I don't.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah, you understand that, you know? Wow.
That's the famous story about Jerry Lee Lewis. You heard that story, haven't you?
You can tell us after we come back from that next break. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. What the hell am I thinking? We got to go for another. Well, don't worry, because when we come back, of course, we've got the story that's kind of further to this.
Yes.
The feds, of course, probing the Tennessee shooter's reported trip to where? Oh, the Middle East. But he's not doing sand spider activities. No. He's an amateur. We wouldn't have him. He doesn't kill enough.
Yes.
Yeah, really? What? You might as well use that as an excuse now, Muslims. Come on.
Yikey.
Break for a commercial.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to go for that 2-minute commercial break. Don't worry. When we come back, tell you all about the federal probe into that Tennessee shooter and his trip to the holy motherland of the Middle East. Why me? Back in 2.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions? Abundant with rich, fertile soil. What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Oh, Spice Body Spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power!
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Glasses. White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
He was always nice to me. Take me to your heart.
Yeah, he might have been nice to you, but you're singing. Yeah, I don't think he meant that. I don't know.
Wait a minute, I got lost. HTLA.
Yeah, you're at the right place, Louie. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just glad, and we're into we're almost into an hour and a half of the show.
Yes.
And it's just good that Louie is still awake. You know.
He called me, and he called me, and he kept calling me, and I wouldn't answer the phone.
Yeah, see, when you go to sleep, we do have to call you back. You fall on the phone, and then, we can't get...
That's the famous story about Jerry Lee Lewis. You heard that story, haven't you?
Yeah, tell us.
Sitting behind his desk at Paramount, talking with big executives and TV people, and all of a sudden the chick pops up underneath, wipes off her mouth, and walks out the door, and Jerry doesn't have an eye.
It's all about the business.
Yeah.
All about the business. Well, here, let's open this up. Let's go a little nutty. Gilbert, do us your Jerry Lewis directing Hervé Villachez.
Here's Jerry Lewis directing Hervé Villachez. Hervé, can you act with the realistic person acting? Yes, Mr. Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
midget person. We do not like that midget. Oh, I'm sorry, little person
with the thing, with the thing. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it, you know. Well, hey, welcome back to the show. Of course, your Friday Frappuccino, coffee and cigarettes. HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk right here, right now. 4:31 in the p.m. in the big city. 79 degrees Central Park right now. Getting a little cloudier, but not too bad. Get on out there with your dog, your cat, or anything else. Maybe you're have a little private time with your daughters in some bush somewhere. You know, not that we're, watching the president right now in the park with his daughters. No, because even if that would happen, we would never say it on the air.
Bullshitters!
Yeah, I know they are.
Yes. You being Catholic, you realize that you can have birth control. You realize that?
Yeah, Louis, I'm not the one in the park with my daughters right now. That's Mr. President.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, I know. It's okay. It's all right. We understand. It's all right.
You know, I'm the most talented guy in this room.
Well, yes, but you're in your apartment alone. I think Dara's out shopping, isn't she?
Same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there you go. Don't worry about it. Well, let's see. Moving on. What do we got to do? What do we got to? I don't know. Let's throw in. We've got more stories, of course. Don't you worry.
Yes.
We've got no shortage of that. And of course, the FBI investigation into the Muslim terrorist. We've got that stuff, but it's nice to break it up with some of our talents that we have here. Myself and Gilbert, and I guess Louis.
Yes.
He does have some talents. He actually did movies with lots of important people, decades ago. Of course, the important people in the entertainment industry today are the Kardashians, and I guess, I don't blame them for not doing anything with them. No, Louis, what you doing? You get,
Mr. T would be proud of you.
Mr. T. All right, yeah, he's he's pretty current.
Yes.
He was on the Stern show there. I don't know, about 6 months ago, and
yes.
He and Gilbert, you do the Stern Show too sometimes,
yes.
And I guess he's not current. He's 20 years old. No,
you would have loved the guy. Never drank, never smoked, did drugs, nothing. He had only one obsession.
Yeah, women.
And that was the women.
Yes,
he just pitied the fool, and yeah.
If you think that you were clever with women, he wouldn't stand a candle with this guy.
No.
Or Muhammad Ali was another one with women. I did 2 films with him.
Yeah.
We were doing a big boxing movie with 200 or 300 people in the stand, and he walked in and beside him stood his macho honcho, and those were all the Muslims in those days. They had those little thin ties and suits.
Yeah.
And he would point at the females. And he went and got him and gave him a note, and every 20 or 30 minutes, they would go into his dressing room. But they were only talking about negotiations, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah, it's all about the business, yeah.
It's all about the business, yes.
Well, it's good that you've got that 20-year-old, news about the Muslims.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, no, it's good to know. They were all those guys hanging around the thin ties. And where else, really, but coffee and cigarettes are you going to get not only 2-year-old weather reports.
Yes.
But, we're also going to give you the latest Muslim news from 20 years ago. I'm telling you, you're just not going to find that anywhere.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
Jenny, why aren't you beeping him? Yeah. What's wrong with you? Oh, wait, you're blonde. Never mind. I guess in fairness, I can kind of see HTLA executives and their point about, not hiring the beautiful, sexy people anymore. We hire the big-headed special needs kids. Because, they do their job and they do it, not well, but vigorously.
Yes.
Jenny's just kind of, I don't know, browsing on her phone or some damn thing and not beeping Louie. So, yeah.
All right, go a half an hour. Do I get 50,000?
Sir, you've already been going almost 2 hours now for nothing. So, yeah, just, yeah, we won't. Wow.
Yes.
Jenny's, I think she just left. Okay, well, if any listener out there knows how to run a PreSonus 2442 digital broadcast mixer, get the hell in here. She's, yeah, gone out of the booth. History.
Yes.
Okay. Was it something I said? I don't know. It could be the Muslims.
That was a mistake on my part.
No, you didn't bring the... Oh, well, yeah, I guess technically you kind of did bring the Muslims up, jerk.
Yeah.
Well, moving on today, of course, just before we get into the Fed's probe on the Tennessee shooter's reported trip to the Middle East, yes, the fatherland of terrorism. Before we do that, let's go over these new images of Pluto. Yeah. Look at that first one.
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh, and the ice fields on the second.
Yes.
Look at that. That's incredible.
Same thing.
Well, yeah, it's the same planet. Look at that, though, would you?
Yeah.
Oh, right. The listeners can't see. Yes, so we'll get off the Pluto thing. Moving back onto, I don't know, maybe the story. Yes, the feds are probing the Tennessee shooter's reported trip to the Middle East. That's right. Federal officials say there's no evidence so far connecting the suspect in Chattanooga with the killing of 4 Marines to any terrorist organization, but of course continue to investigate his background amid reports of provocative blog post entries and his alleged trips to Jordan and possibly then Yemen. Yes, lovely Tennessee resident Mahmoud Yusuf al-Abdaziz. Yes, 24 years old, was identified by the FBI as the man who opened fire Thursday on 2 military centers about 6 miles apart, killing 4 Marines at a U.S. Naval Reserve center and injuring 3 other people, including a police officer. He died following a shootout with police. U.S. Attorney Bill Killian said that the attack was being investigated as possible domestic terrorism. The FBI cautioned that it was premature to speculate on the motives of the shooter at this time. I don't know why. Well, I guess he doesn't want to be like Marilyn Mosby.
Oh, it's these 6 white police officers that killed this poor unarmed black man. Oh, no, wait, he actually fell down and broke his own back.
Yes, well, it appeared that the shooter acted alone, but investigators are still looking for any possible associates who may have helped inspire the incident or acquire a weapon. There's no immediate evidence that the shooter knew of any of the victims personally, the official said. The officials were not authorized, of course, to comment publicly, but we're sure glad they did because it's filling time. Well, Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Sullivan, 40 years old, who had completed 2 tours of duty in Iraq, and Skip Wells, 21, who was fresh out of boot camp, were among the 4 Marines killed during Thursday's rampage. Imagine that. You go and do 2 tours in Iraq, you end up dying here from one of the little bastards. Yes, they were among the 4 Marines killed during Thursday's rampage. Fellow Marines Sergeant Carson Holmquist, a Wisconsin native living in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and David Wyatt of Chattanooga were also killed in the attack. You see that, folks? American names. American names right there.
Yes.
Yeah. David Wyatt.
Yes.
Yes. Carson Holmquist. Yeah. Yeah. Not Muhyiddin al-Gabucha. Yes. Friends and acquaintances expressed shock that Abdulaziz, a naturalized U.S. citizen from, apparently Kuwait.
Yes.
They were surprised and shocked that he was linked to the killings. Yes, they were. A longtime employee who requested anonymity said Abdulaziz, a talented mixed martial arts fighter, was a shift supervisor at Superior Essex, where the employee said Abdulaziz worked for a whole 2 to 3 months. Yeah, talented mixed martial arts fighter. Maybe that's the ninjas they're talking about with Jade Helm. Yes, he was always nice, polite, well-spoken, the employee said. I'm still shocked. I still think it can't be him. A federal law enforcement official did confirm it was him. Well, the official went on to say authorities are continuing a search for the computer belonging to the gunman, but as of Friday morning haven't found an extensive online presence. The site Intelligence Group, which tracks extremist groups, says Abdulaziz blogged on Monday that, quote, life is short and bitter, and Muslims should not miss an opportunity to submit to Allah. I rest my case, Muslims. U.S. authorities are also looking into trips that the suspect reportedly took to the Middle East, including at least one trip to Jordan and a possible visit in addition to Yemen. A source close to the probe tells Reuters today. The new agency quotes an identified U.S. government source as saying Abdulaziz is believed to have visited Middle East between April and November 2014. The Wall Street Journal is also reporting that Abdulaziz's trip to Jordan was taken 7 months ago. Late yesterday, the FBI said in a press conference that Abdulaziz first shot from inside of a vehicle described as a silver Mustang convertible, then later got out and continued to shoot at the Navy Marines training site. Abdulaziz had several weapons, and a residence was being searched for part of the investigation, says Ed Reinhold, FBI special agent in charge. Yes, Ed Reinhold, another American. Two females in handcuffs were taken from the residence where Abdulaziz was believed to have lived in Hickson, Tennessee. The killings shocked residents of Chattanooga, a town of 173,000. We need to be calm because I sense fear and panic in our community, says Kevin Wallace. Yes, another American. Kevin Wallace, senior pastor of Redemption Point Church, which welcomed over 100 community members for a Thursday night vigil. President Obama called the attack heartbreaking. Yes, it's really heartbreaking, like we've never seen Muslims attack us before. Army Chief of Staff General Ray Odierno said Friday that thanks for the cutbacks, jerks. As he also said, recruiters at recruiting stations have been trained to react to possible attacks, but concedes there is some vulnerability there, obviously, he remarks. We have procedures in place that trains them to react to things like this, said Odierno, but we're always going to be somewhat vulnerable to a lone wolf, whatever you want to call it, a surprise shooter, because we're out there in the population, and that's where we have to be. He also added that new directives were sent to the centers Thursday night reinforcing the procedures, and said that the military will conduct an assessment to see if any security measures are needed in addition to the ones already in place. Still, for the next week or so, I don't think I'd go down to my local recruiter. Well, I mean, I'd be okay, crash Jesus and all.
Yes.
Being white and Irish.
Yes.
But, well, if you're wearing a turban and packing an AK, don't be going to the recruiting center. Well, and good news in Africa today. Yes. There's never good news in Africa. We actually have some good news in Africa. Yes, after extensive rebuilding, an upscale Kenyan mall that was the site of a 2013 terrorist attack will finally reopen tomorrow. 4 gunmen, yes, Muslim gunmen. Yes, the Muslims sprayed bullets into men, women, and children inside the mall on September 21st, 2013. On a busy Saturday afternoon, Al-Shabaab, a Somali Islamic extremist group affiliated with Al-Qaeda, claimed responsibility for the 4-day siege of the mall that killed 67 people. I frickin' love Muslims.
Oh, but it's not us. Allah is good. Allah is good. The conflict. The conflict. The complex was left in shambles with a partially collapsed roof, bullet-scarred walls, flooded floors, and bloodstains. The Nukamat supermarket, the anchor tenant of the reconstructed complex, will reopen along with other previous occupants in the mall, including a high-end coffee shop and beauty store.
Yes.
And if I was a Kenyan, I'd just be worried about the new high-end coffee shop. And yes, it's true. I mean, I probably would have been one of the ones killed at the coffee shop.
Yes.
Well, Terry Mungai, owner of the Ashley Beauty Center, said her business rented space 5 times larger than its previous store. Mungai is a patriotic Kenyan. She told Kenya's Business Daily, quote, "We've made such a booking as a mark of our confidence in the Westgate shopping mall." Wow, look at the Africans trying to be Americans.
Oh, come to the Westgate shopping mall.
Yes.
Nairobi Governor Evans Kadiro, who toured the mall on Tuesday, said the country has rebounded from the violence. Well, no, doofus. The country is flooded with the violence, actually. The indomitable Kenyan spirit has prevailed. They didn't break our spirit, Kadiro said. Every business that had a shop in the mall is back by government gunpoint. Well, the masterminds, yes, those lovely Muslims. Yes, behind the attack, they of course died after the attack by a U.S. drone, the Department of Defense said in March. U.S. forces using a drone struck a vehicle being driven by Adan Garar al-Adabi, a member of the intelligence and security wing of al-Shabaab, a group linked to al-Qaeda. The statement said al-frickin' everything. Well, the attack was a success and resulted in the death of Garar, according to the statement. Members of the al-Shabaab shot up the mall with AK-47 rifles and grenades because Kenya's attempts to help the government of Somalia defeat the militant organization, the group has said. Along with those who died, more than 200 people were hurt in the incident at the luxury shopping center. The Pentagon said Garar was in charge of coordinating external operations for al-Shabaab, a job that included targeting Americans as well as Western interests. Yes, the al-Shabaab, it's not just for the barbecue anymore. And in our next story today, there's a...
Yes.
Well, don't look at me. This is not me. Everybody's going to say this is me.
Yes.
But I'm telling you now, before I tell you what it is, that I had absolutely no part in our next story. That sip of Tim Hortons Dark Roast was brought to you by the fine folks at Tim Hortons, New York City.
Yes.
There you go. Yes, our next story today is the 7th woman disappears in central Ohio. See, right there with that laugh, I can tell you think it's me.
Yes.
Yes, in Chillicothe, Ohio, police in the city of 22,000 are looking for a woman missing almost a week now, a 7th mysterious disappearance in the last year. Loretta Lawson McCrae, 30 years old, who lives in public housing in the city about an hour south of Columbus, Ohio, last seen Sunday or Monday evening in the parking lot of Raleigh's fast food restaurant there, according to the Chillicothe Police Department. Lawson McCrae is a white woman with brown hair, hazel eyes, pretty sweet looking. She was last seen wearing a white shorts and a shirt of an unknown color. She's 5'6" and 130 pounds with a sweet ass. And 6 other unresolved cases that have caused residents to speculate that a serial killer is in their midst. 2 of the women remain missing and 4 have turned up dead, all of them with sweet asses.
That's all the news we have out of Ohio today. As far as that goes, they're still investigating the case, of course.
Yes.
And, they'll probably have some questions for me after the show.
Yes.
But that's okay. I'm always happy to cooperate with authorities and continue the subterfuge of my collection of sweet ass.
We were 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award, and we didn't.
Yeah, but that's because your movie didn't have a sweet ass in it. I don't know what's so hard to figure out, Louis.
Yes.
All you got to do, look at Megan. Yeah, not Morgan Freeman. No, we should have had him on today. That would have been fun. No, but Louis, you got to remember, when you're doing a film for the masses, if you want the thing to sell, you've got to have the sex in there.
Yes.
Megan Fox. Yeah.
Yes.
Again, that's a case of a so-so mediocre script.
Yeah.
Shia the doofus. And a sweet ass. And what did they make, Gilbert? I think it was like $500 million on the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. And don't tell me it was that Transformers thing. Yeah, right. Oh, well, let's just do this little cartoon from 25 years ago, and we'll make $500 million. No, it was Fox's sweet ass.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, at least now you know. Next time, get a sweet ass.
Yes.
Moving along today, almost finishing up here. We're almost done. Look at that. Well, a cobra that was believed to have killed a teenager was found dead, Austin, Texas today. Yes, of course, it's Texas news. That's right. Police there say that they have found the cobra they believe bit a teenager earlier this week, killing the teenager. The snake that had been missing for days was found dead early Friday morning near the parking lot where it was believed to have disappeared. Police had been searching for a monocled cobra, which is black with a distinctive circle on its back and a tan underbelly. A driver who worked where the snake went missing spotted it along Interstate 35 service road. Animal control officers said that they believed it was the same snake because the same type is the one that they were looking for, which is not native to the area. The snake was put into refrigeration and will be kept as evidence in the death of Grant Thompson, 18, who died late Tuesday. An animal control supervisor was glad the cobra didn't have the opportunity to potentially hurt anybody else. It's probably the lightest traffic on I-35 in Austin right now, so it was perfect timing to spot the snake, said Mark Sloat, an animal protection supervisor. That combined with keen eyes, really paying attention, it worked out well. According to the Austin Travis Community EMS crews, responded to a welfare check request Tuesday to a Lowe's parking lot near the southbound Interstate 35 service road. Police found Thompson unresponsive in his vehicle. Thompson was pulled from the vehicle and appeared to have puncture wounds on the wrist. Thompson was taken to the hospital in critical condition. According to officials, he died later that evening. Austin police and animal control did not find any venomous animals inside Thompson's vehicle. One specialist called to the scene and said he was a little nervous. And that's why I love Texas. It's the honesty. And actually, I got to say, Greg Abbott,
yes.
that man, I love that man. No, seriously, can't say enough good about him. He is what America should be. That's right. He is. Don't laugh, you little Jew. It wasn't funny. Being serious. Greg Abbott, 2016. Vote now. Yes, it's a little scary. I don't have a lot of experience with that. The fact that we didn't know what kind of species the cobra was. We had very little information, says Giovanni Garcia. We got into the car and got everything out of it, searched as well as we could, looked into the engine and under it and the wheel wells.
Police did find one non-venomous snake in a crate near the vehicle. 6 tarantulas and a bullfrog, police said, also were in the vehicle, and those reptiles were taken to Austin Reptile Rescue. When officials checked Thompson's home in Temple, Texas, they found the cobra was missing. Spokesman for Lowe's said that they were confident the cobra was not in the store and it has nothing to do with Lowe's. The initial autopsy results for Thompson came back neither positive or negative for snake venom. Instead, the official paperwork said it is still pending investigation. The clerk in the office said that it's common for toxicology cases like this, and it could take up to 14 weeks to determine whether the snake venom killed Thompson. And the 18-year-old was known in his hometown as, quote, the reptile guy. Thompson worked at an exotic pet store called the Fish Bowl. Thompson's mother bought the store from the original owner, Bob Bonneau. Bonneau, who owned the store for 33 years, said Thompson was a customer from years back and knew Grant, and he couldn't wait until he was 14 so he could start working at the Fish Bowl. Bonneau said Thompson's passions were clear from the start. Everybody that came in had their little deal. They either liked birds or reptiles or fish or funny furry little animals, he said. He was always prone to the reptiles. He had an official title. He was the reptile guy. People were coming in, and it didn't matter if they were 18, 28, or 38. They all wanted to see the reptile guy. Exotic snakes are illegal in Texas with a permit, according to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. The department said Thompson had a permit to possess and transport snakes, as any Texas reptile guy should. There you go. And moving on today, almost there, almost done.
Yes.
Louis, you'll be able to go to sleep very soon.
Yeah.
Well, what do we got to tell you about today? We got to tell you, are you Wi-Fi aware? Yeah, Wi-Fi aware. Yes, it's to create a brave new world for mobile devices, and it's coming to a device near you. Yes. Brought to you by Monsanto. Well, Wi-Fi, of course, is about to get a whole lot smarter thanks to a new service developed by some of the biggest brands in tech today. It's called Wi-Fi Aware, and it's sort of like GPS, only a lot smarter. It works in the background to scan and notify you of local devices, points of interest, or even people. Developed by the Wi-Fi Alliance, a consortium that includes Microsoft, Apple, Samsung, and Sony, among others, Aware is designed to function without cellular data or even an internet connection. And starting this week, the Alliance will begin certifying various gadgets, apps, and services as Wi-Fi Aware, just like current Wi-Fi or Bluetooth-compatible products. At the heart of the platform is location, or more accurately, your device's proximity to relevant devices or other devices. In the parlance of Silicon Valley, it's very much so-lo-mo, whatever the hell that is. Well, for example, museum visitors could receive messages regarding a particular exhibit once they're within a certain radius. A similar device could be set up for public transit systems, regarding train schedules and retail stores offering details on certain items. More importantly, the system will read your various interests and consumer preferences and alert you when appropriate, like 4 a.m. when you're sleeping. There are some pretty nifty social functions, too. Gamers could be alerted to nearby players who are willing to go head-to-head in a mobile game. Or, if they keep killing you and you're raging, you can go kill them personally. I don't think they're thinking this technology through.
Yes.
Well, bidirectional sharing allows friends to share photos when in close proximity, sort of like Apple's AirDrop, or somewhat alarmingly, you could be notified of an old high school pal who just happens to be around the corner from you. Creepy. Oh, yeah, set the thing to track your lover from 30 years ago. Yeah, that's... Of course, there will be settings, that will allow you to turn the feature on and off, just like GPS or notification settings. The Wi-Fi Alliance assigned Aware to operate in crowded environments, a crucial feature given the ubiquity of Wi-Fi-enabled devices. And you could have to actively establish a connection with another device to send or receive information. The service was also designed to be application-driven, allowing users to control privacy settings and opt in to no notifications, which, of course, will all be disabled when they put it in your phone. So then you'll have a good couple of weeks of going through all of your settings and notifications, trying to figure out their system and turning them all the hell off.
Yes.
Well, that last part is key, of course, because it's easy to see a protocol like this serving as the foundation for some seriously aggressive advertising. That's right. I'm thinking Minority Report.
Yes.
Well, it should come as no surprise that Wi-Fi Alliance President Edgar Figuera told TechCrunch, we expect to see social networks like Facebook or LinkedIn begin rolling out Wi-Fi aware services before the end of this year. And then we'll own you all. Well, and finally today, yes, finally, we are at the end of the 2-hour steam train. Louis, are you there? Yeah, we lost him. Yeah. It's past his nap time this afternoon.
Yes.
So. But it's good to see the psycho little crazy man. Yes, it's good to see you, Gilbert, are still with us.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, finally today, what happened this week? Are you ready to take a quiz? Well, I know Louie's not. Well, the United States and other world powers reached a historic agreement with Iran Tuesday that calls for limits on Tehran's nuclear program. Obama is pumped. Iran is pumped. Who called it a mistake of historic proportions? And no, you can't use me, because I did. But was it Jeb Bush?
Yes.
No, it wasn't. Was it Hillary Clinton?
Yes.
No, it wasn't. Was it Mitt Romney?
Yes.
No, it wasn't. You suck.
Yes.
It was, of course, Benjamin Netanyahu. That's right. And that is absolutely correct, Crash. You move on to level 2. Okay, so I'm at level 2 now. Who won the 2015 Arthur Ashe Courage Award at the ESPYs on Wednesday night? Well, considering I don't know what the hell the ESPYs are, I'm going to blow this one. Oh, yeah, and now the web browser's screwed. I'm just boned. It was a nice idea. I thought I'd do this little quiz with the listeners.
Yes.
You know, it'd be fun.
Yes.
Well, so far
everything that could go wrong goes wrong.
Yeah. Well, it did, and I'm screwed. And
They get f***ing crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Oh, he's awake. Welcome back, Louie.
It's about fucking time. Move on. Move on.
We just did the quiz. We're going here, Louie. We're fine. We've been doing the show. You fell asleep.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll just deduct it from your check.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawler.
Yeah. No. It's not going to go there anyway. Well, I just had the HTLA dog hit the button for the music. That's right. Jenny McCartney is still not in the booth. Don't know where she is. Don't have a clue. But what are you going to do? I'll just have to put her over my knee and spank her. Yes, and don't worry. I will release those images.
Yes.
Yes, I will. Well, anyway, number one, first of all, thank you to the one, the only Louis Lawless. Thank you for being here today. It was great having you, sir.
That was a mistake on my part.
Okay, well, good. We'll see you Monday. Also, the one, the only Gilbert Gottfried. Thanks for being here again, my friend.
Thank you for listening and support the show for the love of God.
Oh, he's so emphatic about that. Thank you, Gilbert. That's great. Although it hasn't resulted in any money coming in. No. Also want to thank the listeners of HTLA, all the fine folks in, of course, the HTLA Live Spreaker.com chat room. Bjorn Erickson had a great ride home, he says. You're very welcome, sir. Glad to do it for you. HTLA's First Lady, Devlon Crawford, of course. Sharon Hundley Chesley from Texas. It's all her fault. It is. And all the rest of you out there on iHeart, iTunes, something like that. Yeah. Podcast One, Universal Radio, iHeart Radio, Spreaker.com, all the different platforms. Thanks for listening to us today. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember, the show next week, 5 p.m. Eastern, is going to be the time from now on. So set your browsers or put on your WiFiAware, and we'll just crawl into your underwear at 5 p.m. And so, yeah, have yourselves a great weekend. Once again, check out all the shows. HTLA Radio 1 in New York. You can get that at newyorksbesttalk.com. Check it out. You'll love them all or you'll hate them all. And well, people like to listen to what they hate, so... Tune in next week. We'll have all kinds of great stuff. 5 p.m. Eastern, Monday Mocha. We'll see you there. Have a great weekend.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.